Hey beauties, let's get ready and do a smoky eye makeup tutorial with this Making Mauves palette by ColourPop. I'm looking for a nice mauvey smoky eye with a little bit of sparkle and a really nice nudie pink kind of lip. So I'm going to start off with my brows, and I really love this e.l.f. soap brow. It's really affordable and I really like their tool. This is their brow lift applicator. So all I do is I activate it with a little bit of water on my brow, and then I'll go do the other side, taking the other side of the spoolie so that I have the same amount of product. And I go the opposite way, and then I like to lift my brows up, kind of that surprised look, and I just push my eyebrows up, and I'm using quite a bit of pressure, like not too much, but a lot. And I like to bend my spoolie. I find for me it works better. And then I just take the tail of my brow and I kind of shape it down, and I like to leave a little bit of the spikiness, I guess, I don't know what to call that, in the front part, and then I just shape it that way. So now I'm going to take my Too Faced Superfine Brow Detailer, and I'm using the shade Dark Brown to just kind of fill in my sparse areas and clean up the line on the bottom. The other favorite eyebrow pencil that I love is their Pomade in a Pencil. That one works really well to shape out your brows. And don't worry about getting it completely perfect. I haven't done my face, I haven't done my base or anything yet, so I'm just kind of getting my brows on. It's totally a preference. If you like doing this part last, then go ahead. I just find that if I do my brows first, A, I'm a lot more careful about where I'm placing my foundations and concealers, and B, the overall look is something I prefer for myself. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay, so while I'm doing my eye makeup, I really like to hydrate intensely underneath my eyes because I like to do my eyes first and then I do my face. You don't need anything super fancy or super expensive. Any really super hydrating formula will work. This one I'm using is that Holy Hydration made for under your eyes. This is also a good part to super hydrate your lips. Again, I'm using the e.l.f. lip balm. Make sure that if you have hooded eyes that you're always using a base. There's a couple that I actually really love. I should do a series on them. But this one that I'm using today is the P. Louise eyeshadow base, and I'm using color Rumor 01. And now because I'm doing a smoky eye, I'm not going to go super heavy on the bottom, like down by my lid. I'm just going to take what I have and kind of blend it down. And I'm using the Urban Decay Dual eyeshadow brush. I love this one for applying bases just because of the way that I like to apply my bases. It just works really well for me. Then after I'm done patting my base, I'll just diffuse it on the end out towards my temple, towards my hairline. And because I am doing a smoky eye, I'm just going to place a little bit underneath and just kind of blend it out. Make sure you lightly set that with powder before you go in with your eyeshadow. I'm going to start by laying down a transition, and I'm going to use this. It's still considered a cool color, but it's in the warmer end of this palette. So I'm going to use this color called Solitaire, and that's where I'm going to lay down my base so that I can work with the rest of the shadows and it has something to blend into. And it's also going to warm up these kind of grayish purpley colors that I'm going to be working with. So I'm just going to go in with the Doe Color 1, and I'm going to do the windshield wiper motion, focusing more heavily in my crease because I do have hooded eyes, so I need to do it this way to achieve the look that I want. And I'm just going to make my V. I'm just going to diffuse that out and do the same on the other side. So now I'm going to darken it up a little bit, and I'm going to go into this Big Fig with my Refer number 13. This is actually the brushes that are specifically made for hooded eyes. And I'm just going to look up and then look down into my mirror, going right into where my crease is. If you need help, you can check where your orbital socket is. And I'm just going to create a C, very like packed in right there. And then without putting any more product on, I'm just going to kind of use circular motions to blow it out into that transition color. And I'm only going right to about there. I'm not coming all the way in. And then I'm going to look up and I'm just going to bring it in a little bit underneath here. on my lower lash line. So now I'm going to take that dough color brush, not adding any pigment onto it, and I'm just going to merge these two gently together. I don't want to take away the structured work, so I'm just very lightly just blending them, and this will help make things easier when you get towards the end and you don't have to just continue to blend. So now I'm going to take this Big Moves color on my Refer number 3. This is just a small bullet shaped brush, and I'm just going to go in on my lower lash line, and that's where I'm going to place that, coming out and just kind of cleaning up the edge here but keeping it nice and soft. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this pinky mauvey beautiful color called Mauve on Top. And I'm going to use a sponge to apply this, but I'm also going to spray it with my MAC Studio Fix. And I'm just going to place that right in the middle, and that's where most of the shimmer is going to be concentrated. And then I'm just going to work out to the inner and not quite the outer corner. And then you can just layer it to the opaqueness that you want. I'm also going to take it and just swipe it underneath my eye. Okay, so here's where we're gonna add the depth. So I'm going into this dark purpley mauve called Marquee, and I'm using this brush. Now this is a key brush. If you have hooded eyes, you really need this one, and this is just gonna pack the color in. So I'm not doing any kind of swirling windshield wiper motions. I am literally just packing this in, and I'm creating structure. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and then I'm going to bring it down on my lower lash line, just stopping about 1/4 of the way down. So now I'm going to take that Refer number 13 that I used to apply Big Fig into my crease and just kind of clean it off a little bit. And I'm going to diffuse these two colors together, just working very softly around the edges because I want to keep the depth inside of there. I'm going to do the brow bone with this R&R color, and that's going to take the contrast a little bit away from the P. Louise base that I had added, but I do want a nice soft kind of blended smoky eye look. I'm going to take a very tiny bullet brush, go into Bi-Coastal, and just do the corners and my lash line by my tear duct. Then I'm tightlining with Too Faced color Espresso and smudging it out. So I primed my face with the Stila One Step Kitten Correct and the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, but the specific one with the niacinamide in it. For foundation today, I'm going to be using the Makeup by Mario shade 2N, but I'm going to put a pump of the shade 4C just to darken it up a little bit, because the way that his shades work, the undertones, I find I struggle with them. So I just mix these two together and it works pretty good. I'm just going to take my dual-ended brush and I'm going to apply this to my face like so. Oh, I'm having such problems with my eye watering. I find sometimes when I use that Too Faced eyeliner in my waterline, even though I love it, it just makes my eye water, so I must be allergic to something that's in it. All right, so now that's pretty good, and I'm just going to take the other end and start to just, I should have put a headband on. Whoops. Start to just kind of diffuse it. Now, that Stila Kitten Correct, Correct Kitten that I love and use. It's my holy grail. That's what I almost always grab for, because I'm super picky with my primers, and those two mixed are really the only ones that I'm ever really satisfied with. But it puts such a beautiful glow underneath, like just a very lit from within, dewy but not shiny finish on your skin. See, no matter how cool I go, well, if I go, some companies go too cool and it's like, it looks really red on me, but most cool tones still pull yellow. I have like the hardest skin tone to match. It's almost like this, sometimes it's like peachy and sometimes it looks gray because I also have olive in my skin. So, you know, peach is like orange, like it's red and yellow, and plus I've got that little bit of olive and it's pale, so it's like impossible to try and like color match. I swear olive tones should be like in their whole other category, because we usually just get grouped under neutral, but neutral kind of washes out as well. But I do like that 2N and 4C, even though it feels a little bit yellow. It's still a pretty good match. So I'm just gonna finish tapping this out, and then I'm gonna see if I do need to blend it with a beauty blender. I don't think I'm going to. This is actually, I'm really liking the finish of this. So I did decide to go ahead and press this in with a beauty blender. I didn't just go in with a wet blender though. I took what was left over in my little mixing pan, applied it, and then I always start with my neck when I do that so that I don't like take a bunch of the foundation off. I like to build it in and just press it in. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my Lise Watier, and I'm gonna kind of color correct underneath my eyes. I'm using this pink, it's called Beige Rose, and I'm just gonna go in where I'm very blue over top of my foundation. This is just the method that I like to use. And then after I color correct, I will go in and brighten up with my concealer. So I'm just gonna take the tiniest amount of my Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm gonna put it along the part that goes blue, and then just to brighten up certain areas that I want to on my face. So I'll brighten up or two today. And then you're gonna wanna work fast because Shape Tape absolutely dries down quickly, but it's still one of my favorites. I know not everybody loves it anymore, but I still really love it. I like to use this e.l.f. putty primer applicator to actually press my concealer into my face. I find because I did all that hydrating prep, the Shape Tape doesn't dry my face out. I know that's a big gripe with a lot of people, is that it's just really drying, but I don't find it. I find it's just very high coverage, and maybe it's just the way I apply it. I'm not sure, but I do love it. So I decided that I'm gonna do a powder contour today. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face with my MAC Studio Fix. I know that this might seem odd, my timing of placing this here, but this is how I do it. It's what I always do. I find that when I spray this over my powders, like when I'm all finished, everything just settles into every pore, every line, and you can see it. There's a lot of texture. This way, it kind of sits on top, and it just, I don't know, the application for me personally looks nice and flawless, and it could also be due to my dry skin, just having that nice and hydrated before you go in with the powders. While that's drying, I'll go in with my NYX Lift and Snatch, and I'll just put some dimension back in my eyebrows. Now, I already did the base of my eyebrows before I did anything else, so while that setting spray is drying, I just like to go in and quickly just touch them up. This is also the part where I'll wipe the gunk off of my lips. Okay, so I'm gonna take this loose, massive, fluffy brush and just lightly dust over my face with the Prisme Libre by Givenchy. This is shade number 1. So I'm just gonna do a dusting on my face with that. Now I'm gonna set my under eye with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless in the shade Fair, number 1. So now I'm just going to go into my California contour, and I'm just going to bronze with the Morphe 143, and I'm bronzing by doing dabbing motions just to kind of put some color back onto my face. Then I'll go in with the contour. Now I want to do a nice soft diffused contour, so I'm going to go in with a bigger, fluffier brush. This one is the Quo Full Fan. I'm just going to place it on my contour areas and working my way up. Now I'm going to have to reload this, otherwise it'll be uneven contour. Again, working my way up, following my hairline, and then diffusing it in, doing my nose, and not forgetting my little double chin that I can never seem to avoid because I have the tiniest jaw, so there's like no room for anything down there. Then I just applied a little bit more, and I'm just gonna take it and snatch my jaw a little bit. Now I'm taking a smaller brush and just doing my nose contour. And I always like to deepen up my bow tie. So I'm gonna go in with ColourPop's F28. It's just a nice loose powder brush, and I'm gonna be using this beautiful mauve plum shade. I don't know, it's ColourPop, I know that, but I do not know which shade in particular it is. So I want to flush my cheeks down quite a bit. I'm not keeping it up. I'm not looking for like a really lifted face. I do want to have my apples accentuated. So I am going to place it there, and then I'm just going to do, I always like to do just right above above my eyebrows. I'm going to keep the highlight really soft, and I'm going to go in with my Shape Tape Starlit. Going in with my Quo Beauty Detail Highlighter, and I'm going to start off with my nose and my lips, and then I'm just going to put a little glow right here. You can apply it wherever you want, but tonight I'd like to have my glow focused more on the middle of my face, going above the eyebrows, and then mascara. Using the Essence Lash Princess False Effect Mascara. I'm going to use the Kiss Big Personality Lashes. While I'm waiting for the glue to get tacky, I'm going to swipe on Soft Rose by Milani. And there you have it. This is the finished look of my Mauvey Smoky Eye tutorial using ColourPop's Making Mauves palette. I really hope that those of us with hooded eyes were inspired to try this look and to realize that there's nowhere that you can't go with your makeup. Like, you can definitely, you know, still follow trends, all that good stuff. You might have to tweak things up a little bit and use different tools, get creative, but you can definitely do it. Please tag me in your looks if you do try to recreate this one. I would love to see them. And also, I really hope that if you do not have hooded eyes, that you were still inspired by this tutorial. So that being said, I have a Christmas party to go to, and I am just gonna go get changed, and you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll see you later. Bye.